Hello, I'm Nate Glubish, and you're listening to Coffee in the Park with Jennifer and Cam.
So, I was at Costco, and all their Christmas stuff is out.
I know.
Well, not all,
no,
but a
they still have
whole
Halloween.
row. So, can I just say, this is September. I'm not sure when this will drop, but this is September, and all their and along next to their Halloween stuff.
But you know what? Here's the challenge.
What's that?
If you see something in the Christmas aisle
I
at Costco,
know,
and
you
if
have
you
to
don't buy it
it
right away,
exactly.
next time you go back to Costco,
but can I
it's going
just
to be
say,
gone.
fake Christmas trees for $499? Like, come on, seriously?
At least put some scent on that so it smells like pine.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's got little flashing lights. I'm like looking at it going, that won't work for me. But nonetheless, it's Christmas, and so here we go. Costco is Christmas. Anyway, I just thought I'd bring that up because Costco beats everybody. That's all I got to say.
They always do
And
every
I
year.
know when we do our pet peeves show, we always bring up Costco. It's not
It's
necessarily...
a love-hate relationship.
It is a love-hate relationship.
Costco.
Just to say, the other day, I had nothing to do. I went and walked around Costco. I know I need a life. I know. But I didn't buy anything. Actually, that was rare. I didn't buy anything. I
That
just
is
walked
rare.
around Costco. Anyway, welcome everybody to another edition of the Coffee in the Park podcast with Jennifer and Cam, and we're so glad to have you listening to us today. We are coming to you live from the Wall Coffee Roasters in the heart of beautiful downtown Atchison. So, if you hear some noise in the background, maybe if you hear a machine whirring or some people talking or kids screaming.
Well, there was a baby earlier in the
I
coffee
think they
shop.
left.
I think
yeah,
so.
Not the baby wasn't drinking coffee. I just want to make that
Make
for
it
people
clear.
who are like, is that baby drinking coffee? No, they weren't drinking coffee. But I'm telling you that because if you hear noise in the background, that's what it is. Because we do this live right in the coffee shop.
Our favorite place.
That's right. And if you've never been to the coffee shop, you need to come. They have a new flavor called...
Apple spice latte and a maple. I think a maple.
I don't know what the
London
maple
fog.
one is, but
London
that
fog.
yeah. Oh, I had the London fog.
Yes, you did.
And you had the apple spice thing.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, and it was it's worth trying. That's all I got to say. So come on out and check it out. It's kind of awesome.
Absolutely.
Anyway, hey, we want to tell you that Coffee in the Park with Jennifer and Cam is brought to you by some really cool people. The first one is Wing Snob. If you are looking for some place to go for dinner tonight, or you need to do some takeout, I'm telling you, Wing Snob is the place to go.
And hey, Cam.
What's that?
You just told me you had wings at it.
I won't say the place last night. Yeah, they were bad. No, they were bad wings. I don't know if it was the chicken's fault or the cook's fault or what, but they were bad wings.
But do you know why Wing Snob is never bad?
No.
Because their wings are always fresh, never frozen.
Fresh, never frozen. That's right. They have 16 flavors of wings, 4 rubs. They have 10 locations in the city of Edmonton. And hey, it's amazing. They got Parmesan fries. They got cornbread. They got all kinds of stuff, and they are amazing wings. Your favorite flavor is?
Well, Snobby Q.
Snobby Q.
Or the dry rub, the dill pickle.
Oh, the dry rub dill pickle. We are in the dill pickle world right now.
I know.
And they make the best dill pickle wings. So, hey, if you're craving wings, they have traditional and boneless.
Or if you want some of each, you order the 50-50 pack.
50-50. You get half boneless, half traditional. And like I said, 10 locations spread out throughout Edmonton. They're growing into Calgary, Grand Prairie, right across Canada. You can go to www.wingsnob.ca and find a location near you. And I'm telling you honestly, folks, if you don't know what to make for dinner tonight, the family will love you forever. Just go out and get a whole fam pack of Wing Snob wings.
That's my plan.
That's your plan tonight. All right. So there we go. We are also brought to you by some great people at M-Print Printing.
Sign and print solutions here in Atchison.
Right, they're located not far from us. We could walk there. Well, not really. It would.
We'd have to cross the tracks.
Well, yeah,
That could
that
be
in itself.
dangerous.
Let's not talk about that. But nonetheless, they are amazing printers. They will do everything. Everything from your business cards all the way up to...
They wrap.
Wrap.
And what does that mean? That means they will wrap your vehicle.
I know.
Can they even wrapped a helicopter once?
They
it was
did.
amazing.
Unbelievable. So they are amazing printers. They are the official printers of Coffee in the Park, and they've done our business cards, they've done our mugs that we give to our guests, all that kind of stuff. If you need something, whether you need brochures or booklets or pamphlets or anything, they will do it. They've even wrapped at the University of Alberta. They did a rotunda area, the new rotunda area in one of the buildings. They wrapped it, and apparently it looks phenomenal. I might get to see it tonight. I'm out there, but yeah.
Jan and Dawn are
Jan
the
and
best,
Dawn.
and they'll find the solutions to fit your needs.
That's right. Imprint.ca. And listen, for all your printing needs, they'll go anywhere in the city. They'll go anywhere in the province. They've even done work globally. So if you're listening to us today in Tuk, they will do that for you. By the way, did you know we have people listening to us on every continent except one?
Antarctica.
The Antarctica. Penguins do not listen. So if you know anybody on Antarctica that can help us out, hey, give them a blast, and they can listen to it. I'm very excited about today's guest. This is really cool. I'm so excited. So let's
kick it off.
You ready to go?
I am.
Well, away we go.
Okay, but Cam, you had a question about how we address this guest today.
That's right, because he's actually kind of official. And I don't know if we call him Your Honor, Your Highness. I'm not. I want to be. Listen, you know us on Coffee in the Park. We want to do things right.
We do.
We don't listen. We don't want callers, or listeners. You didn't respect him. I do respect him immensely. I just don't know what to call him. So.
But it is his story behind the story.
That's right. We're going to hear his story behind the story. We'll ask him what he wants to be called.
Okay, so
all right?
we'll just introduce him right now as Nate Glubish.
Nate Glubish.
Welcome, Nate.
So good to have you.
Thanks for having me on the show.
So, Minister Nate Glubish, you are a MLA. For those who are listening other than in Alberta, MLA stands for Member of the Legislative Assembly. You are an elected member of the Legislative Assembly, and you are a minister.
That's right. Yeah.
And you are the Ministry of
Technology and Innovation.
So computers and robots and
So
and AI and all that kind of stuff. You're the guy.
So basically, I'm the resident tech nerd in government.
Okay.
And
I've actually heard the Premier refer to you as that.
yeah, but you know what? She means it as a compliment.
Yeah, she says it lovingly. I know.
Basically, if there is a computer or some type of software or any kind of technology system involved in the operation of the government of Alberta for everything except for healthcare.
That's right.
My team's in charge of that.
Will you oversee the takeover of robots in our society? I watch too many of those movies.
You do.
Where they.
I think you have watched too many of those
That's
movies.
right. Okay, so how do you, because we want to do things right? How can we refer to you as Nate or Minister
just for
Not
today?
Your Honor.
Just for today?
Just call me
Okay.
Nate.
All right. So let's start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we take it back to the beginning like we do for every guest with the story. Nate, tell us a little bit about growing up. Where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was born right here in Edmonton.
Oh, okay.
At the Royal Alec.
Royal Alec.
That's where it all began.
That's where it all be. Do they have a plaque or anything over there? This is the room where
right.
the Honorable Nate Glubish was born. No.
I mean, I don't think they all thought I was destined for greatness or anything. They've probably all forgotten. But no, I was born in Edmonton. We lived in Spruce Grove, actually. At the time, my parents lived there. My dad was a pastor at the Pentecostal church in Spruce Grove at the time.
That's right.
And so we lived there for the first 2 years of my life. And then my dad decided he wanted to go pursue some higher education. So we moved to BC while he worked on his Master's of Divinity. So we were in Richmond for 2 years. So he got his master's degree there. And then we moved to Toronto for 3 years while he was working on a PhD. And then 3 years in, by that point, there was me, my younger sister, and my younger brother had just been born at that time. And my dad got a job offer in Saskatoon at the local Bible college.
How old were you at this point?
So I was about 7.
7.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
And so some of my earliest memories are from the move from Toronto to Saskatoon.
Did you like Toronto at 7?
I mean,
Probably don't remember.
Yeah, you were just a kid.
I remember is spending 45 minutes in the school bus every day on the way to kindergarten or grade 1.
That was Toronto, right?
That was not fun.
Yeah.
So Saskatoon was a serious upgrade in my books.
Okay, folks, did you hear that? Saskatoon was an upgrade.
Wow.
Because there's a lot of people that might not think that.
Tourism Saskatchewan.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You were born in Saskatchewan,
I love
you love Saskatchewan.
Well, what I loved about Saskatoon is it's a great place for a young family to grow up.
Yeah.
And so that's where I spent the majority of my childhood. And my dad took the job there, and the rest is history. We moved there as a family. My my mom and siblings, they got to fly from Toronto to Saskatoon.
Oh.
But my dad and I,
You
we
had to
did the
drive.
drive.
How was that as a 7-year-old trucking across the country?
I mean, I don't remember the whole thing, but I have some good memories. I remember driving around Lake Superior.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember passing through Winnipeg, and but it was pretty special. I mean, I got to spend 3 days straight with my dad in the car.
Yeah, for sure.
As a 7-year-old, that was pretty special.
That's kind of cool, actually.
That is.
That's cool. Now, I just for full disclosure here, I know your mom and dad quite well. Actually, when I was in college many years ago, I actually interned under your dad for a short period of time in Spruce Grove. So so I've known your dad. I've known your dad pretty much all my life. So so I'm just putting that out there so people know where this is coming, in case they're like, "How do you know him?" I'm just telling you. I didn't really know Nate because he came later after I left, but I know your dad, and I know your grandpa really well. Really well, I know your grandpa. He's a good friend. So and grandma, and all the other. We won't get into it. Anyway, okay. So now you're in Saskatoon.
Yes.
Did you graduate high school in Saskatoon?
I did. Yeah. So I went and did a French immersion program in basically from kindergarten to grade 12. So I started in Toronto and then finished French immersion in Saskatoon.
Right.
So I graduated from Walter Murray in Saskatoon.
Oh, you know that school? You been there?
I know it.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
It was a great school.
Yeah.
There was about 80 of us in the French immersion program, but there's about 450 of us in my grade.
Right.
So it was a big school.
Yeah.
And but that I mean, I'm the tech nerd in government. I was the math and science nerd in high school.
Remember we said, I wonder if he was like president of like
the math club or the
computer
club. Yeah.
I didn't have a political bent back then, so no, I did not run any clubs. But I do remember I won the sciences award in grade. I think it was grade 12.
I'm not saying this surprises me at all. What did you do to win? What was your experiment?
I don't remember exactly what the criteria was, but I had very high marks in chemistry and physics and in math.
Wow.
I took all the different. I don't know how this compares to in Alberta system, but they had a math A30, a math B30, a math C30, and calculus. So there was basically 4 full semesters of grade 12 level maths.
Right.
And I took them all. I took 2 of them in grade 11
math
and 2 in
30
grade 12.
was the top, the highest.
Yeah.
I took math like 42. Like I was so useless in
math 7.
Oh, math 7, yeah. Anyway, so you are obviously very smart. So,
well, I mean,
did you play sports?
I that was not one of my strong suits.
Okay. See, we shouldn't even be laughing at that because that's like not everybody plays sports.
No, but
did you like?
Did
you like sports? Because your dad is a massive hockey fan.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed watching sports with my dad at home. We were always watching the Oilers to see if they would be able to
pull it off,
find a way back to the cup after their glory days, and we're still on that quest. Many decades later.
Oh, that's a whole other podcast.
Game tonight.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. That's a whole other podcast.
So while sports was not my thing, music was.
Yeah.
And so that was how I balanced out the academics. I was in concert band. I played trumpet. I played French horn.
Whoa.
And I really enjoyed that. That side of the high school experience.
Yeah. Wow. So we obviously like to do a little research on our guests because we want to know, where and we came up with Rend. Mm-hmm. And so
he's like,
sometimes I do wish we video this just to get the look on their faces when we say we came up with Rend. And so Rend. Tell us about Rend and was Rend a high school thing or after high school?
So this was after I had moved back to Alberta.
Okay.
It was before I got involved in politics.
Yeah.
And it was before my son was born. So I had a little bit of spare time on my hands. I don't really remember what that feels like. But
what were you doing for a job? What were you?
Well, at the time, I think I joined Rend. Yeah, I joined Rend while I was actually working out here in Atchison.
Okay.
Yeah. At NCSG, Crane and Heavy Haul
at
Services.
NCSG. Yeah.
Yes.
At the time, I was in charge of their mergers and acquisitions. And so we can maybe talk a little bit about that a little later. But so while I was working there, I was feeling like, I'd like to do something a little bit more with my music skills. I mean, obviously not with trumpet and French horn, but I also play piano and guitar.
Not a lot of trumpet and French horn bands.
No. I mean,
not that type of music bands. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, I thought, whether it's playing piano or keyboards or playing guitar, I'd be interested to try, playing with another group and just playing regularly.
Right.
And so where did I go? Well, I went to the Kijiji Musicians Wanted section.
This is great.
Yeah,
This is no joke. This actually existed at the time. I don't know if it still does today. But I was just like, let's just go check out the Musicians Wanted section.
Yeah.
And for a few weeks I was looking to see if anything jumped out at me. I did a couple of auditions, and the first two, no chemistry. I knew right away it wasn't a fit.
Yeah.
But the next one was Rend, and they really stood out because every one of the members of that band were Grant MacEwan music graduates.
Oh, yeah.
So they all had a music degree.
Yeah.
They were all.
So they were serious
They were all making a living teaching.
Right. They weren't like 17-year-olds in the garage.
And they had been gigging for a long time, doing both cover shows, but also working on their original material. And they had just finished recording their first CD, but they were looking to recruit a keyboard player to tour with them while they once they launched that CD. So I went to one of their rehearsals. They had given me some of their material ahead of time. I kind of learned the parts, and we hit it off pretty quickly. And
so you play trumpet, you play French horn.
I would say played
trumpet
and French horn,
and you play keyboards.
Yes.
Any others?
Keyboards and guitar.
And guitar.
Yeah.
Recorder.
No,
I just
long
throw
time
that
ago.
in because every kid plays recorder in school. Did you have a high school band?
No.
No.
I mean, I played in my church when I was in high school in my youth group.
Yeah,
but
that counts, kind of. Yeah.
But this was the first time that I had ever really joined a band. Outside of a church setting, and it was great. This was a great chance for me to play with folks who were significantly more talented than me.
Right.
And it forced me to really learn and up my game. And so over the course of the 2-ish years that I gigged with them, we did 200 shows together all across Canada.
Okay, so
there's so many questions.
I know. So for the record, we Googled Rend. Did we Google it? Is that what we Googled it?
They're really good.
And so Nate, Minister, I've known you for a while now. I consider you a friend. You're a good friend of mine. And I'm very thankful for that. And I'm like, okay, what's this band going to be like? So I kind of went in with no expectations other than the guy. Now, folks, I just need to say this on the podcast. If you were watching us on video, we don't have video, but if you were, and if you knew Nate he's a great guy. He's a great minister. He's a great person, and he's just kind of he's clean cut, straight kind of guy. So I'm like, well, and then we listened to it. You guys are actually really good.
Well, I mean, a lot of credit goes to the founding members of the band, and especially the lead singer, Carolyn.
She was amazing.
She was amazing.
And so, I mean, one of the things about Carolyn that I loved is that she wrote all the music herself.
Really?
So she wrote the lyrics, she wrote the melody, and she wrote the chord progressions, everything. And so she would sit down with us and just say, this is what I want you to play. Even like to the drums, this is what I want you to play. And so she is exceptionally talented.
And you toured with them?
Yes.
200 gigs?
About 200 gigs over 2 years.
Really?
Was there a van?
Yeah, was there a van? Did you have the Rend van?
There was... our drummer had an old Toyota van.
Yeah.
And then we used my Volvo SUV for the rest. So we had a caravan of the Toyota minivan.
It was your tour bus.
And the Volvo SUV.
Yeah.
And we gigged mostly in Alberta, but we did a lot of Western Canada.
Wow.
And every year we did the Toronto Music Week.
Oh, really?
So we flew out there, rented.
You flew?
We flew.
Oh, you know you've hit the big times when you can fly with your band.
So what I like to tell people is, look, I never made $1 off of being a musician.
Yeah.
But I didn't have to pay out of pocket.
That's
to
right.
gig.
Yeah.
And that's a big deal.
No, that
No,
is because
it
it could, because there's a lot of guys who are putting out a lot of money and going nowhere.
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool. Did you have a roadie, or were
No.
you all the roadies?
They were their own
I
roadies.
I definitely had to haul all my
Yeah,
gear.
I was gonna say the next step would have been a roadie for sure.
Yeah.
That's real. And how long were you in the band?
A little over 2 years.
2 years.
Yeah.
Folks. Now, is there an album?
There's a couple of albums. The first one was called shoot, I can't remember.
Is it on you? It's on iTunes.
It would be on Apple Music.
Okay.
I remember the single from the first one was called Hide.
Hide.
And then I think the album was called No Lines.
Yeah.
And then the second album, the main single was Is It Just Me? That was an EP. And that was the one where we did perform at the Edmonton Music Awards that year, and we won Rock Recording of the Year.
That's right. I read. Yeah, Jennifer, you showed me
showed
that.
you that.
Rock Recording of the Year.
I know.
Yeah.
That's pretty big
So
deal.
that was kind of. I mean, that was one highlight for. Like, if I look back on the 2 years, what were the biggest memories? I would say we played it was at the old Alberta Museum here in Edmonton, and you know, getting that award was pretty cool.
So,
and then the other highlight was playing at the Sonic Boom Festival at the Northlands grounds.
Sonic
and
Boom.
So Dallas Green was the headliner that night. And I was on the same stage
Dallas
on the same
Green?
day.
Come on!
So him and then like Half Moon Run, which is an outstanding
Yes.
band from Quebec,
Yeah.
were playing, and I got to like stand on the side of the stage watching them while they played. I got to see the rehearsal, like they had their band setting up behind the stage, you know, rehearsing quietly, and
you got to,
and I got to kind of see how that all worked with like all the big names.
Man.
And then we were one of the opening acts.
I'm just gonna say I've never seen you light up like this when you talk about your band.
Right?
Like, no kidding. Like, this is so cool.
It was a good
so
memory.
you won the Edmonton Award. Was the next thing like the Grammys? Like, was that what you were thinking?
I mean, the next step up from there would probably be a Juno, but you know, we never quite cracked into that.
No, but did you think that we won this, we could go on and we could do that? Like, was there a plan to?
I think at
get
the time,
a tour bus.
At the time, I think we were just really enjoying having the opportunity to share our music with folks, and but you know, in the end, some of the band members needed to move to Vancouver, and eventually kind of went our
Did you
separate
do any
ways.
vocals or just keyboards?
I did a little bit of background vocals, not on the recordings,
Yeah.
but just in the live shows.
So, folks, I'm just telling you, I think it's worth checking out because we
know,
did.
we did.
You should have, both Jennifer and I were watching it. And simultaneously, they're really good. Like, they were real. You guys were good. It was good.
Well, like I said,
Okay.
the folks I joined, they were outstanding.
Well, no,
and
band. It takes a band to make good music. So
it was a great experience.
Yeah.
Okay, but you mentioned that you were working at this time. How did that?
Yeah, how did
like,
you?
How did you?
Were you
manage
married
that?
at this time?
Yes.
You were married?
So my
Oh.
wife, Allison, you know, this was, she was pretty early in her career as a teacher.
Yeah.
So she was working on, you know, building out her reputation in her local school and working towards, I think she was working towards getting her permanent contract. So she was very career focused.
Yeah.
And, you know, she was always used to me working long hours and whatnot.
Right,
So
right.
when I took this on, you know, not to mention the fact that she goes to bed early,
Yeah.
and all the gigging is like
After
10
the-
o'clock at
10
night.
o'clock at night. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and that's an early show,
Right, yeah.
So, I mean, she was asleep by the time I got to most of my gigs,
Yeah.
and so it just worked for us at the time, right? We
Yeah.
didn't have our son Max yet,
Yeah.
so it was the perfect time in our marriage for me to go and try
Sure.
something like that. She knew how much I loved music, and she knew that I wouldn't do it forever.
Right.
But she's like, you know, go have some fun for a couple of years and
I like
you know,
that.
see what comes of it.
Yeah, see what comes.
So
That's
it
good.
worked for us.
I love it.
But it was busy, right? Like I had to be very. I had to manage my time really well because
Yeah.
I mean, my job with NGSG was a really important commitment. In that time, we bought about 8 or 9 companies from all across North
Wow.
America.
Wow, yeah.
We doubled the business in size, and then we ultimately sold a majority stake in the business to a
Right.
big private equity fund
Right.
in Calgary called TriWest. And so I was in the thick of it for all of that. I worked directly, like I reported to the CEO and the CFO. of that company, and
Wow.
By day I'm
I was
going
going
to
to say
on all those deals
5 days a week.
Yeah.
Probably a little extra.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
working on that, and then you're out gigging.
Yeah, so
And rehearsing and
I
then
didn't
playing.
get a lot of sleep.
I was gonna
That's
say.
pretty much
Yeah.
what the
Yeah.
the takeaway was. But
That's what I didn't.
it
What
was
an
worth
incredible story!
Yeah.
I love that. That's fantastic.
I know.
I mean, I was so excited when I heard you because I thought this is good. As soon as we're done, I will be downloading those albums because I think they're pretty cool. So then you were with them for 2 years.
yeah,
So when did you get married? You got married.
We-
Did you go to university? You did.
I did. So maybe we can
Yeah,
back,
let's
back up
pedal
to
back a bit,
Saskatoon.
yeah.
We talked about where I graduated high school, and then we started talking about music. So
Right.
if you wanted to kind of get the continuity of how I got back to Alberta, so I did. When I finished high school, I remember at the time I thought, I don't need to go to university. I'm just going to become a great investor. I'm gonna
Right.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
do my own thing. And so I took a year off. I just
Bet that
I
went
did-
well
I
with
did-
your
I
dad.
did some
eh?
work.
Bet
and-
that went over good with Brian. Not really, eh?
He knew I'd figure my stuff out. So I took a year off and just worked and was the plan was to just save money and invest.
Right.
I was a math nerd. I loved studying companies and
Yeah.
stocks and was reading anything I could get my hands on to learn about how to be a successful investor. But I learned in that year that was not likely
Not to be.
enough
Yeah.
to really make it. So I decided to go do a business degree.
Okay.
And my parents always said, we can't help you pay for
Right.
university, but
Yeah.
you can live at home for free for the
Yes.
first degree.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, well, that's a good deal.
Sure.
I don't need to apply anywhere else. So
No.
I went to the School of Business at the University of Saskatchewan.
Okay.
And that was the next 4 years of my life. And very quickly found, as a math nerd,
Yeah.
that I really liked finance, corporate finance.
Sure, yeah.
And I still remember, I took all of the second year courses, like an intro to finance, an intro to
Right,
accounting,
right.
an intro to HR.
Man,
an
you
intro
really
to-
were a math
and,
nerd, seriously.
And I remember my finance course was the one that just clicked. It came naturally to me. I think I got like a 98 in my intro to corporate finance, it was easy. So I was like, well, do what you're good at.
Right, yeah.
And that's what helped me to decide to be a finance major.
Okay.
And
So you graduated.
So graduated in 2004.
Now, had you met your wife by then? Or no?
No. Definitely not. Because she grew up in Leduc in Alberta.
Oh, okay.
So that came a little bit later.
Right.
But so at the end of it was in 2004 I had finished, and I remember as I was in my final semester of university, I was looking for what am I going to do for work after this, and I couldn't find a job anywhere in Saskatchewan.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I didn't have good grades and
Yeah,
a good
no,
track record.
98 in
my,
math.
My
That's pretty
transcript,
amazing.
my transcript was good.
Yeah.
But there just wasn't a lot of opportunity in Alberta or in Saskatchewan at the
Yeah.
time. This was before the Sask Party was in government. This was
Right.
before Brad Wall,
Yeah.
kind of went on his legendary run politically. This was back when they were still an NDP province.
Sure.
And so I called up my family back home in Alberta. I said, what should I do? And everyone I talked to said, just come back to Alberta. You won't regret it.
Wow.
And so I started poking around, and one thing led to another. I got a job offer as an analyst for a venture capital firm in the Edmonton area, and made the move back. I moved in with my grandparents initially because it was an interim
Right.
position, so
Right.
I didn't know if it was going to be permanent.
Yeah.
So I
you lived with
I
Grandma
lived
and
with
Grandpa?
Grandma for about 9 months.
They're the greatest people. They seriously are. And your grandma is a great cook. I'm just saying. I know that firsthand.
They were great and very, very generous to let me stay with them while I
for sure.
tested the waters.
Yeah.
But one thing led to another, and it became a permanent position. And
And then how soon did you meet your wife? And where did you meet her?
So I met my wife a couple of years later after that.
Oh, okay.
In Leduc. My best friend at the time and my roommate at the time was the youth pastor at a church in Leduc.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
so I had said, well, look, I want to go and support your church because you're my best friend.
Yeah.
And so that's how I found my way to
Wow.
attending a church in Leduc.
Yeah.
And so that was the church that my wife grew up in.
Wow. Okay.
And so over time we got to know each other.
Love at
and
first sight and
hit it off. And
yeah. She was okay that you were a nerd. Did she know you were a? Well, I'm just saying. You have to. Why do you do that? You have to be okay with that. Like, well, I'm just saying. Like, or was it the rocker side of you, the musician side? Was it? What did she like? What was it immediately? Was it the math side or the music? I don't know. I'm just asking.
I mean, I'm guessing it probably had to do with the fact that I had a stable job and had a business degree.
All right.
And I
You love the story, which
had
is
a-
like, oh, he was
like-
amazing at music, or like, yeah.
But no, I mean, so we hit it off there, and so we got married 17 years ago.
Oh wow.
So at the time I lived in West Edmonton.
Sure.
So she moved in with me after we got married. But soon after that, she said, we're going to move to Sherwood Park.
Okay.
And I said, well, why? I
Yeah.
mean,
So for those who are listening, Sherwood Park would we call it a suburb? I guess.
Yeah, it's
Or
a suburb
It's a
east
city
of
unto
Edmonton.
itself,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's a suburb of,
Yeah.
of Edmonton. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it. So
Yeah.
it's just east of Edmonton. And so I said, well, why? And at the time, her parents had just moved there, so that's a good reason.
Yeah. Sure.
And both of her siblings lived there. But the other reason was, at the time when we got married, she was finishing her music and education degrees
Right.
at the U of A, and she knew she was going to be a teacher, and she knew she wanted to teach in that school district. So she said, this is where I want to teach, this is where I want to build my career, and then when we do start a family, I want to be close to my
Sure.
family.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so all of that
course.
was
Yeah.
very reasonable,
No,
so I said,
makes
okay,
sense.
let's do it.
Yep, very
so,
logical, yeah.
A couple of years after we got married, we moved out to Sherwood Park in 2010 and bought a condo, and then we've been in Sherwood Park ever since. Yeah.
And you have one son,
Yes.
Max.
Yeah.
I love that name.
Yeah. And it's just Max.
It's not Maxwell
Maxwell
or
or
Maximilian.
Max.
I love that name.
It's
When you
just
told me
Max.
your son, I thought that is class. He's going to be somebody great because he has a name Max. That's great. That I think. Don't you think? I think that's
Good name.
It's a great name.
Yeah.
It's awesome. So I guess the natural sort of question now, of course, is you're married, you're working, and what drew you to politics? What drew you to want to get into the world of politics?
Well, I can tell you politics was never part of the plan.
Right.
I never...
Honestly, you never had any intention, desire.
I grew up in a family that never talked about politics,
Right.
and I would say probably didn't really pay attention to politics.
Yeah.
It wasn't a part of our life growing up. I think the first time I really thought about politics at all, not as a career, but just thought about
Yeah.
the political environment around me, was when I couldn't get a job in NDP Saskatchewan, and then I came to Alberta, which was conservative-led, and it was limitless opportunity.
Right.
That was an awakening for me to say, gosh, well, I guess I know what I like.
Yeah.
And I knew that I was a conservative voter from then on, because I wanted to live in a world that had opportunity, and that
Sure.
if you work hard, you get ahead. A
Yeah.
meritocracy, and I just didn't feel that was going to happen in Saskatchewan under the leadership at the time, and I was grateful that it was a part of Alberta at the time. But then I went, as most of us do. Okay, I know how I lean politically.
Right,
Now I'm going to
right,
set
yeah.
it, set it and forget it.
Yeah,
Show
yeah,
it once
yeah.
every 4
Sure,
years
yeah.
and cast your
Yeah,
vote.
Do your
cast your
check
vote.
and away go.
I'm
yeah.
just out.
Yeah.
I'm just out building my career.
Yeah.
Building my family, doing my thing, living my life, and that's what I think most
Yeah.
people's
Sure.
stories are. But then, as we approached that pivotal 2015 election in Alberta, and for those who aren't from Alberta, that was the election when the PC government of the time, who had been in government for 44 years,
Yes.
lost
Yeah.
to the NDP, who had never been in
Right.
government.
It was a
It was
shakeup.
a seismic shift.
It was
in
massive.
Alberta politics.
Yeah.
And I mean, for me, I thought, gosh, I just left Saskatchewan to
Yeah.
get away from an NDP government, how could Alberta, who's right next door, despite that cautionary tale, choose to go
Yeah.
NDP? And, with the benefit of hindsight, there's a lot of factors that led to that. You had a PC government that had just been there
Yeah.
for so long that
Yeah.
they had, stopped listening to people.
Right.
They had also drifted and become a little bit less conservative. And I would say had become a little bit arrogant.
Yeah.
And then you had the Wild Rose,
Yes.
who was the other conservative party at the time, that were just not quite professional enough yet.
Yeah.
They were a little rough around the edges.
Yeah.
And so there wasn't enough of a
No, and-
competent alternative at the time.
Yeah, and it had honestly been a two-party province.
Yeah.
Forever. So a third party coming in was a tough one.
Well,
it was hard for people to buy.
Well, the other thing is in all the times when the PCs were in power, you had a fractured left. You had an NDP party that got 10 to 15% of the vote. You had a Liberal Party that got 20
Right,
or 25.
yeah.
And then you had a Green Party in some
Right.
ridings.
Yeah. They were
the left was
fringe,
fractured. And so, so yes, you had the vote split between PC Wild Rose. You had some of the PC drifting away from their true calling and losing their way a little bit. But you also, I have to give credit to Rachel Notley, not my choice in leader, but I
Rachel,
respect what
if you're listening.
I respect what she accomplished.
She did.
She
accomplish.
consolidated the left
She
long
did.
before we ever talked about uniting the right.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
it worked. And so the NDP formed government, and I thought, gosh, this is everything I chose to leave Saskatchewan to get away from.
Right.
You know what? Politics is important. It affects our daily lives. So I said, you know what? It wasn't conservative ideology that let Albertans down. It was conservative leaders
Right.
who let Albertans down. I want to be a part of a new generation of conservative leaders to present Albertans an alternative to the NDP in 2019, so that we can show what a good, competent, conservative government can and should look like.
Right.
And so it was within a couple of days of the NDP forming government that I decided I'm going to become a conservative MLA in Alberta. I don't know how. I don't know how politics works.
Right.
I don't know anybody in politics. But I'm going to figure this out.
Yeah.
And so basically, that was just maybe 6 months to a year after I had left the band.
Right.
So I had all that spare time. And so basically, I kept working,
Yeah.
a corporate finance job.
Sure.
But I spent every evening and every weekend for 4 years learning how politics worked.
Right.
Volunteering. I helped my local candidate for the federal election in 2015 to
Right.
win his seat as the Sherwood Park Fort Saskatchewan MP. That's Garnet Jennis. I learned all about door knocking and phone campaigns
Yeah,
and
yeah.
putting up signs and fundraising and
Sure.
data entry and all the nerdy political stuff that goes by in a campaign. And then I just started getting involved in the provincial side of things after that. And shortly then after, when Jason Kenney announced his plan to unite the two parties, the
Right.
PCs and the Wild Rose, I said, that's what I want to get behind. Because I really believe that a new united party would present the best chance, the best story to Albertans and the best alternative to an NDP government. So I just started campaigning for that, and I sold thousands of memberships
Yeah.
across Alberta. For the unity vote.
And you did. You
And-
really did. So
I learned how the retail politics side of things
Right.
worked and just
So
went for it.
I promised your staff, because they made a point of telling me that we have a hard stop here. And so let's fast forward. So you ran, you got elected, you are now in government, and you were appointed as a minister of the government, or a minister of the legislature.
And in your second term.
in your second term.
Well, I was
You're in your second term.
I'm in my second term now.
Right.
So I was elected in 2019.
Were you a minister in your first term?
And I was. Jason Kenney invited me to serve as Service Alberta minister.
That's right.
In
Service Alberta.
2019.
Okay, Service Alberta, yeah.
Which is where I started on the nerdy tech journey, because what folks don't really know is that the tech backbone of government was actually in Service Alberta
yeah.
at the time.
So it was Premier Smith that separated that out.
So then
Yeah.
when Premier Smith joined us,
Yeah.
that's when we pulled the tech stuff out of Service
Right.
Alberta, and then we added the innovation file together.
Yeah.
I will say I've probably got a little bit of wiggle room here. I can probably go another 15 minutes. So.
Well, we can't.
Okay.
So just saying.
She'll
but-
yell at us. No.
What's that? We're only. Well, we could go forever, because I could talk about this forever. But so Okay, so now you're a Minister of Technology and Innovation. You're in your second term in the province. You are doing incredible things. I'm going to say that. And it's not just because you're my friend. I watch government very closely. I watch what's being done. There are certain aspects of government that aren't quite doing as well, different portfolios that are very difficult, makes sense. But you are doing very well in innovation and technology. You have bolstered that in our province. You have risen to the occasion to bring industry, technology, innovation into Alberta and brought us, I think, into the 21st century in many ways. Where do you see us going? What do you see us...
Well, my goal is to make Alberta the most innovative jurisdiction in Canada.
Right.
And that kind of cuts two ways. One is, as a user and an implementer of technology, I want us to be the best public service that you could ever ask for. And in order to do that, we need to use modern technological tools in order to become more productive, to automate and eliminate waste in our system, and to deliver Albertans a better user experience when they interact with their government. And then it also, the other side of the coin is with private sector innovation. I want to make sure that Alberta is the destination of choice in Canada for innovators who want to build a new technology and turn it into a business and raise capital. And so over the last 5-6 years, we've made enormous strides in terms of attracting more venture capital investment into Alberta tech companies.
You have done that.
We've gone from, I think it was like 30 million a year in 2017 to 700 million a year over the last 3 years, all at a time when the Canadian market was on the decline.
On going down.
So, for me, that's really gratifying because, as I had mentioned, I started my career as a venture capital investor. I spent the better part of 15 years investing in and building tech companies in Alberta. Now I'm inside the government perspective of how do we create an environment where this industry can succeed and grow. We just saw a report from CBRE that said Calgary is the fastest growing tech talent hub in North America. 61% growth over
we'd like
the
it
last
to be
3 years.
Atchison, but Calgary's okay.
Well,
you and I have had that conversation. That's, I don't know. But anyway, we'll get off on that.
There's lots of room for growth and opportunity.
Cam, once we build the condos next door,
that's
they'll
right.
come.
They'll all come, and then we'll have our data centers and our technology and our apples.
But it's great the province is.
No, it really is. It really is great because for those who don't know, Alberta is a province that for the most part was built on energy, on gas and oil and those kinds of things. And we all know where that's gone in the last while. And while it's still an important part of our province, it is a realistic
that diversification.
We have to diversify, and technology is the future.
Yeah. And one of the things that I find really exciting is just the opportunity to deliver a higher quality public service that's more sustainable in terms of taxpayer funding. We can get significantly more performance out of government by using technology without having to spend more money.
Okay, can I ask you a question? I was in my meeting last night, and they're announcing, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, so if we're not, we'll edit this out. But I was in my meeting because is it the Alberta government that's coming up with the new driver's license that has...
No, that's true.
Has it'll have our
healthcare
card on it, our passport information on it.
So it won't have your passport information necessarily, but it will have your citizenship.
Oh, citizenship. That's what it was.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
that's right.
So the plan is that the Alberta driver's license will be your proof of ID, your government issued photo ID, but it also, if you are a Canadian citizen, that will be on there, which means that any government services where you need to be a citizen to access them, you just have a single piece of ID to prove that you're eligible.
Exactly.
And then also in terms of just clamping down on voter fraud.
That's the one
only citizens are eligible to vote.
That's the one that,
We want to make it easier for folks to prove that they are in fact eligible to vote. We want folks to have confidence in the results of their elections.
But the healthcare card link is great too.
And that's the third piece.
It empties your wallet out because you don't have to carry 9 cards.
Well, my poor little crumpled piece of paper.
I know that you've
had
for like ever, right?
Yes.
So the other that's something that the government of Alberta is working on now too. And one of the things that I'm working on through Tech and Innovation is the Alberta Wallet on mobile phones.
Right.
So we launched that a couple weeks ago. We're the first in the country to do it. And the first piece of ID that you can put in there is a mobile healthcare card.
Really?
Yeah. So so that is
that available now?
It's available now. You can go
Wow.
to alberta.ca/wallet and download the Wallet app.
Okay.
And it's
Right
a very
after
simple,
I download the band, that'll be the second thing I download.
And so, we know that a lot of folks can have that same story that you had,
Yeah.
Jennifer, about the paper healthcare card that's just all crumpled or
Yeah.
torn. And so now this is a chance to put yours and your kids' cards in
Brilliant
on your mobile
idea.
phone.
Yeah.
And where we want to get to eventually is to add some functionality into it. So you could go say like
Right.
tap your phone at your doctor's office to check in.
Oh,
Hello, Mr.
okay.
Glubish, you're here
Yeah,
to see
yeah,
your doctor.
yeah.
He'll be right with you. And then think about like what happens next. You go to your doctor, you get a prescription,
Yeah.
or you get a requisition for blood work, or
Yeah.
an X-ray requisition. Well, wouldn't it be cool if that could get automatically uploaded onto your wallet, and then you could just click on it and say, "Show me all the pharmacies nearby that have this in stock, and who has the best price, and who's integrated with my Blue
This
Cross."
is brilliant.
Or,
is this your
you know,
idea?
this is my vision for where I want to take this, because think about it. Then you could say,
Where-
okay, send it to my pharmacy.
Yeah, yeah.
You go tap your wallet at the pharmacy to check in. Oh, hello, Mr. Glubish, your order's ready. It's already been billed
Yeah,
to your Blue
speed
Cross.
things
Here
up.
you go. You're
Yes.
in and out in 5 seconds.
Okay, I'm just going to say if anybody in Sherwood Park is listening to us, and you are, I know you are, vote for this guy because this is amazing. I'm not even kidding.
No.
This is what I think we've all been waiting for
This is
a
what we
very
need to
long
do,
time.
to
Okay,
move
we are
forward.
running out of time, not just for you but for us too. But I got. And then Jennifer's going to ask you one last question. But
He keeps going. He
I know.
says he's running out of
I
time,
know
and
we
he
are,
keeps
but
asking
I want.
questions.
Okay, you can only answer 1 minute on each.
Okay.
Okay, only 1 minute. You're a politician.
I'm used to question period. I only get 35 seconds in question.
I know, but I'm not the House Whip, so I can't. I'm not the Speaker. I can't tell you to sit down.
I'll get my
you have
timer
to
up.
set. Okay, I want to know
Okay,
what.
go.
Okay, I want to know what you think. What is the best thing about being a politician, and what is the worst thing?
Oh, good question.
You have 1 minute
All
on
right,
each.
so I'll start with the worst.
Okay.
The worst is just that you're always in the public eye.
Yeah.
And we are, whether you like it or not, we're in a partisan system.
Absolutely.
Obviously, I'm with the Conservatives. That means anybody who doesn't like Conservatives automatically doesn't like you.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how good a job you might do on the non-political, non-partisan pieces
Yeah.
of running a government.
Yeah.
They automatically are going to hate you. And they see you as the enemy. And in
Yes.
our ultra polarized world of politics today, that I think
Yeah.
has just been fostered by social media, people treat you as an enemy, and it's
Yeah.
not just that they're like, I want to vote against this person.
taken the person
I
out
want,
of it?
I want to destroy this
Destroy
person.
that
We've
person,
taken the
yes.
person
So that's
out of
the
it. We
hardest
made it
part.
about opinion. Yeah,
That's the
okay.
hardest part. But the best part is, where else can you have such a big impact?
Yes.
On the place you call home,
Yeah.
and the future that your kids are going to inherit.
Yeah.
So for me, this is all about building the best possible Alberta and the brightest possible future for the next generation of Albertans, because Alberta gave me a bright light and a hope and an opportunity for the future when Saskatchewan couldn't at the time.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that my son Max and his generation, when they get older, that they will have that same opportunity in Alberta should they so
And
choose
I'm going to
to
say, folks, that
stay
I've
here.
known Nate for a while now, and I know a lot of politicians. And when he says that, this is one guy that believes
means
that,
that,
and he lives it.
absolutely.
I'm telling you that. And he's not paying me. I don't even live in his riding. I can't even vote for him.
You can't even vote
I
for
can't
him.
even vote for the guy. But I just know him well enough. We've been in many situations together, and I know that. And if you're on the other side and you don't like him because of his politics, listen to his band, and you'll like him because it's awesome.
Maybe we
All
can
right.
find some common ground.
That's right.
That's right.
I'm just saying,
No, it's
right? We got
brilliant.
the things that bring us together.
We
And
have
look, I do want to say, because I know some of your audience aren't going to be fans of Conservatives. That's
No,
fine.
that's
I
fine,
want
yeah.
those listeners to know, like, I respect the fact that those are your views and
Yes,
your values.
absolutely,
And I will
100%.
always fight for your democratic right to organize for the
Yeah.
political causes that you value
Yeah.
and prioritize. And my hope is just that we can disagree without being disagreeable.
And that's it.
That's it. Okay, so that's all the politics we're going to talk. We're not a political podcast, but this was good.
No, this was
excellent.
great.
This was really good.
Absolutely.
And if we ever start a political podcast, you'll come on, be our first guest, I hope.
Okay.
Okay.
Final question.
Final question.
Nate,
we
what
ask
is-
this of everybody.
Yes, the best piece of advice you've been given either personally or professionally that you carry with you to this day.
I think this would be some advice from my grandpa. We've talked a little bit about my background in
Yeah.
the church and
Yeah.
my faith background. And my grandpa was a man of deep
Yeah.
faith convictions.
Very much.
And I think so he often he shared with me the wisdom in scriptures. And I think one of the key pieces of wisdom is just do everything you do as if unto God.
Yeah.
which is really just at its core a passage about work ethic. And it comes back to that whole thing of like, if you work hard, you'll get ahead.
Yeah.
But like, people respect a good work ethic.
Yeah.
If you work hard and you are diligent in whatever you choose to do, people will take notice of that. And I think that principle has served me well. It served me well in university.
Yeah.
I got great grades. That served me well in my career as a VC. I had a great career there. It served me well when I did mergers and acquisitions for NCSG. But it's also served me well in politics. It's helped me to build my influence as a local MLA, as a minister. And so that would be my advice, is just don't be afraid of working hard. Because if you do the work, the rest will take care of itself.
And your grandpa is a great man, and he did that, and he was successful. And I'm going to tell a story real quick. I know I'm the one wanting to wrap it up about your grandpa. And because he told me this story personally one day. And we were talking about what we do in life and how we know what we're supposed to do. And, you know, people were saying, well, God wants you to do this or do that, or calls you to do this or calls you to do that. And he said to me, Cam, he said, God called me to be a businessman, not just to make money, but to make money to help people and to help the marginalized and to help the poor and to help the lost and all those kind. And I never forgot that. He said, those are my gifts. Those are my talents to do that, do that.
And he was 16 years old.
Yes.
When he felt that call.
When he felt that call. And I know where and when. And my mom was there. And it's incredible. So I love that. I love it. That's fantastic. We could go on for a really long time here, but we can't.
No.
So
to wrap it up.
Yeah.
Thank you not only for coming on the podcast, but thank you for your service to all Albertans.
Thank you.
Because again, we've talked about this multiple times. It's not an easy life, and it's not easy for families.
Yeah.
So we really appreciate it. And all that you do and that your family does, and what you're doing for the province of Alberta is just fantastic. So
thanks for being real with us. We appreciate it. We really do. And so if you're in Sherwood Park, I know we're not supposed to say it, but just vote and vote for Glubish. That's who you need to do, what you need to do. But anyway, hey, thanks everybody for listening. It's been a great podcast. Want to remind you, Wing Snob, if you don't know what you're doing for dinner tonight, follow Jennifer. She's heading to Wing Snob.
That sounds a little creepy. Don't follow me.
Whole train behind Jennifer as they walk into Wing Snob. But there's 10 locations, so you find the location nearest you. And 16 sauces, 4 rubs. They're amazing. And I'm actually looking across the coffee shop right now. And there are the owners of Imprint sitting there. And they're probably not hearing a word I'm saying. I wish they were. But hey, if you need some printing done, anything.
Check them out.
Mprint.ca. Thanks, everybody. Listen, you can get us anywhere you download your podcasts, or you can go to www.coffeeinthepark.com. Is that right?
You got it right.
That's right. And listen, tell everybody about the podcast. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your enemies. If you don't have a friend, make one so you can tell them about the podcast. But just tell everybody and
subscribe.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks,
See you next
everyone.
time.
See you next week.